Hi guys, so the Huffington Post has a beautiful collection of everything that's gone wrong because of Brexit in 2021. So of course one of the very first stories of the year was the case of some drivers traveling from the UK into the Netherlands, and they were not allowed to bring their sandwiches with them because those sandwiches contained ham or meat. We have to remember, of course, that because the UK now is a third country, it doesn't have the permissions it had before. It doesn't have the privileges it had before, and of course there is a restriction on animal products traveling from outside the EU into the EU unless you have a certificate. And I don't think most people would go through the rigmarole of getting the paperwork to get a health certificate for their sandwiches. So this was a funny clip from just a few days ago.
Do you have meat on all the bread or not?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay, then we take them all. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Okay, can I take off the meat and leave me the bread?
No, everything will be confiscated. Welcome to the Brexit, sir. I'm sorry.
I think this phrase, and this guy may become some sort of celebrity in the future. This phrase will be the epitome of 2020. Welcome to the Brexit, sir. Okay, then we move on, of course, to companies not shipping to the UK anymore. So European suppliers have decided, look, it's not worth selling to the UK. And here is beer on the web. It says here, due to the new Brexit measures, we can no longer ship to the UK because of the import duties that are going to be imposed, that are being imposed at the moment on imports from the EU. And of course, it works in both ways. People buying, and I've covered this in previous videos about people buying stuff from the UK, when it arrives in the EU, they have to pay the import tax or VAT as well, which they didn't have to pay before. Of course, we've covered this story on a number of occasions. The disaster surrounding fishing. I just show you a little bit of this clip. You've probably seen it before as well. The Scottish fishermen trying to export into the EU, they can't because their fish is no longer fresh when it arrives. If it does arrive, it has to go through, it has to be accompanied with a huge amount of paperwork. The paperwork has to be checked. The fish product has to be checked itself. That requires time, it requires effort, and it means that in some cases the fish is not fresh when it arrives at the customer's location in the European Union, and the European customers are deciding to go elsewhere.
I'm inside today because it's a miserable day outside. I've been quiet for a couple of days to see how things have went. It's getting worse. It's unbelievable the situation we're in here. The 13th of January and we can't get any product to the EU market whatsoever. We've been made a fool of. The fishing industry have been made a fool of by the Westminster government.
So when I reported on this a few days ago, it seems that on the 18th of January, which is Monday, it may be possible that things are moving. Now, the British government had promised that on the 18th of January things would start moving faster, but that will remain to be seen. Here's another clip of someone who, I think he was actually someone who voted for Brexit, and now he's suffering the consequences.
We are not going to get the paperwork done in time. We've been inundated with paperwork, be it the catch certificate, the health certificate, the VAT, which is what is holding us up and the reason why we cannot buy this week, plus the import duties. At the moment we're stuffed. We are not going to...
At the moment we're stuffed, so that's not going to be resolved anytime soon. Now, of course, the fishing industry is suffering at the moment, and they were hoping that the British government would stand by them, would be ready to help them. But unfortunately, the minister responsible for fisheries was busy doing other things when the deal came in and she was supposed to read the deal.
Minister, I suppose my question is, did your jaw drop as well when you saw this agreement that had been delivered in fisheries, when really was such an iconic subject?
No, the agreement came when we were all very busy on Christmas Eve, in my case, organising the local nativity trail.
Yeah, I'll just let you listen to that again exactly. Her reason for not reading Boris Johnson's Brexit trade deal with the EU.
Agreement came when we were all very busy on Christmas Eve, in my case, organising the local nativity trail.
You know, you would, I don't know, Nero was fiddling while Rome burned. She was organizing a nativity trail while something as important as fishing, you know, this was something that was pivotal for the entire Brexit transition period. It was talking about fish, fish, fish. Boris Johnson said, we're not going to give up 1 inch. We're going to fight for this issue. We're going to remain steadfast. The fishing industries are going to be our top priority. And this was one of the last issues that was resolved. And the fishing minister, the Minister for Fisheries, was doing an activity trail when she should have been, you know, waiting by the phone, by her computer for a notification from Boris Johnson that, yes, here is the deal, that's her job, to read the deal, to understand how it would affect her department. But she was doing other things. Then we have other stories about the other products, of course, the border delays. Michael Gove said that there would be... So Michael Gove, some months ago, said there would be no there'd be no disruption at the port. And then a few days before the end of the transition period, he said, yes, of course there will be disruption at the port. Now, Michael Gove is the type of person, I've said before, who would promise to help you, move home, and then, sometime in the future. And then when you actually go to ask him to do it, he would say, no, I never did that. Or he would actually gaslight you. He would say, nobody helps each other to move home. I don't know where you got that idea from. That's impossible. So we have this indication about the new customs requirements. And this is from Dover to Calais, Dunkirk to Dover. We have all of the requirements that lorry drivers need to have completed the documentation you can see here, and the famous Kent access permit that is required in order to get into Kent. We've also covered this story about how the Irish have abandoned the UK land bridge in order to get to the continent, the European continent. They've decided instead to increase the ferry transport, the ferry traffic between the Republic of Ireland and France and Spain instead. And then finally we have the Northern Ireland checks. Of course, Boris Johnson at the time said there will be no checks between Great Britain and Northern Ireland. Of course, animal products, we know this already, animal products travelling from Great Britain into Northern Ireland need documentation, need checks. Even though Boris Johnson said no, and he told business leaders in Northern Ireland at the time, last year, he said that if anyone comes to you with a document, tell them I told them to throw it in the bin. So this is just a snippet of some of the problems that Brexit has created in the last 2 weeks. And this is just the beginning. We're going to start to see more and more problems as we get further into this post-Brexit Britain, and it's going to get worse. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot. I want to say a big thank you to all of my patrons. You ensure that this channel continues to exist. I'm eternally grateful for all of your support. If you join Patreon, you will receive instant access to our Discord server, where we have both audio and video chats. You can chat with me and other patrons, where we discuss important and non-important issues. Becoming a patron per month costs about the same as a large coffee, so why not check it out?